055 or 0996 892 965. Get a Zuku decoder today and not miss daily mass, worship and prayers 0883 815 055 or 0996 892 965. Get a Zuku decoder today and not miss daily mass, worship and prayers, news bulletins, and so much more on Luntha TV, bringing wisdom into your home.
What's your name? Gary, huh? It's my game.
We put everything into this.
Those that can do it and succeed.
How to fix it.
This city has been
just a cookbook. It's part of
being hit here
with the latest global news and insightful documentary.
Transition.
Understanding the
But if you ask them know me. I know they blow trees, only know me.
Glad you could join us for our Monday 7:30 news bulletin. With me, Tandi Wemzamara. First, the headlines. Pope Leo XIV prays for embattled people of Ukraine ahead of invasion anniversary. Government expert applauds Malawi's improved governance ranking while warning on corruption. Malawi government records 75% farm input subsidy program festive redemption rate, up from 61% last year. And in other news, Kenya signs historic cooperation deal to transform Nairobi's urban services. We do have the details to these stories and more, to stay with us. Pope Leo XIV appealed for an immediate end to hostilities in Ukraine on Sunday and called on people worldwide to pray for the embattled people of Ukraine. The Pope made his appeal in remarks to pilgrims and tourists gathered in St. Peter's Square for the Angelus prayer on Sunday, 2 days before the 4th anniversary of the beginning of the illegal Russian invasion of its neighbor, and mere hours after an overnight Russian missile and drone attack targeting energy infrastructure. We have more details in this Kusna report read by Charity Shilanga.
Pope Leo on Sunday noted that 4 years have passed since the beginning of war against Ukraine, adding that his heartfelt thoughts remain focused on the tragic situation unfolding before the eyes of the whole world. He recalled the many victims, immense destruction and unspeakable suffering, noting that every war is truly a wound inflicted upon the entire human family and leaves in its wake death, devastation, and a trail of pain that marks generations. He then renewed his appeal to let the weapons fall silent, let the bombings cease, let an immediate ceasefire be reached, and let dialogue be strengthened to pave the way toward peace. He has since invited everyone to join in prayer for the embattled people of Ukraine and for all those who suffer Pope Leo on Sunday noted that 4 years have passed since the beginning of war against Ukraine, adding that his heartfelt thoughts remain focused on the tragic situation unfolding and for all those who suffer due to this war and every conflict in the world, that the long-awaited gift of peace may shine upon our days. The statement from Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky Sunday morning also said the church was damaged by a Russian strike. Zelensky also said he ordered a force increase to protect the airspace over the northeastern Sumy region, where Russian drone attacks on Saturday destroyed an ambulance transporting injured civilians.
Speaker of the National Assembly of Malawi, Samir Suleiman, has expressed concern over the late arrival of government members of parliament, a development that temporarily disrupted proceedings as the House resumed sitting on Monday afternoon. Suleiman told legislators that he had not received any official communication explaining the absence of the government side and stressed the need for punctuality and adherence to parliamentary procedures. The sitting was initially adjourned for 30 minutes but resumed nearly an hour later. Phyllis Chizombe was there and she reports.
Upon arrival in the House, members from the government side attributed their delayed attendance to pressing official duties. Minister of Information Shadrack Namalomba told the August House that the members of Parliament had been finalizing amendments to items scheduled for discussion.
Started a little bit late because we were also attending to matters of national importance. When we came in here, members continued with the debate on the state of national interest, which His Excellency Professor Peter Mutharika shared with the nation. That was 2 weeks ago.
As debate on the state of the national address continued, Lawrence Chagakala, Member of Parliament for Lilongwe Chirobwe constituency, raised concerns over the state of secondary school education. Chagakala called on government and the Ministry of Education to review secondary school programs, arranging that only selected students are benefiting while open school learners are being sidelined.
Speaker, sir, on free secondary school education. At first I thought it's free secondary school education for all, only to realize that it's only for a few students who have been selected to secondary schools, and those on open program are not accessing free secondary school education. I would like to ask the Minister of Education to roll out the free secondary school education to all, because it's the majority of students that are not benefiting. If we are to achieve an intended goal on this, there is a need for our students in secondary schools to access to free education.
The government introduced free education in Malawi to ensure that every child has access to schooling and to promote equal education opportunities across the country. Reporting for Luntha News, this is Phyllis Chizombe.
Governance and political expert Dr. George Jaima said Malawi's improved ranking in the 2026 World Economics Governance Index reflects measurable democratic progress, but warns that persistent corruption concerns continue to undermine the country's governance credentials. Malawi has been ranked 8th among the top 10 best governed countries in Africa and 71st globally, with an overall governance score of 50.7. Reflecting on the findings, Jaima said the country's strong performance in political rights, where it scored 74.8, confirms visible improvements in democratic space and civic freedoms. We have more details in this report, filed by Judith Ogan and read in our studios by Charity Chilanga.
Jaima said since the change of government, there has been a noticeable shift towards strengthening institutions, protecting civil liberties and allowing citizens to exercise their rights more freely. However, he expressed concern over Malawi's low score in controlling corruption, which stands at 27.6, describing it as a serious contradiction to the broader governance gains. Chaima also noted that although the rule of law scored 44.2, more decisive action is required to strengthen institutions responsible for enforcing accountability. He stressed that governance progress must go beyond rankings and translate into consistent action against corruption. Chaima added that sustaining the current progress would depend on the government's willingness to match political reforms without credible anti-corruption measures.
I would say that it matches with the findings of the survey recorded in that magazine. There has been quite a significant change, improvement in terms of governance structures and systems since the previous government lost the power. So I think evidently we can match words with actions, and that's the thing that is visible on the ground. When it comes to issues of corruption, yes, the survey says we are still ranking low. That's very true, because if you are to check the records of government, you find that we have a government that is functioning now, but some of the authorities within the government are still answering charges of corruption.
Malawi has been ranked number 8 among the top 10 best governed countries in Africa, according to the 2026 World Economics Governance Index. Globally, the country ranks 71st with an overall governance score of 50.7. The report highlights Malawi's strong performance in political rights, where it scored 74.8, while press freedom remains moderate at 57.3. However, the nation continues to face challenges in controlling corruption, which received a low score of 27.6, and in strengthening the rule of law, which scored 44.2.
Malawi Health Equity Network Mayhem Executive Director George Jobe said poor road conditions are directly contributing to traffic accidents, injuries and fatalities across the country. Speaking on behalf of Mayhem and the Minibus Owners Association of Malawi, Jobe highlighted the Palula stretch along Zalewa Road, where multiple accidents, including fatal crashes, have occurred this year, describing the situation as preventable and unacceptable. He warned that the rising number of road accidents is overwhelming health facilities, diverting staff, medicines, and resources to crash victims and disrupting essential services in already strained health system. While urging motorists to drive cautiously, Jobe has called on the Roads Authority, district councils, and city councils to conduct urgent inspections and repair works. Judith Ogan caught up with Jobe.
And soon after releasing the statement, we have received feedback from the general public, citing other roads that are in bad state at the moment, like the Chikwawa Nsanje Road, the Zomba Liwonde Road, and the Rumpi Karonga Road. We have noted that the conditions of the roads can lead to road accidents, which is a health issue because lives get lost.
"75% of farmers in Malawi have so far redeemed their farm input subsidy program FISP packages, up from 61% recorded during the same period last season. The figures were disclosed by Salome Gangira, spokesperson for the Ministry of Agriculture, in an interview with Luntha television on Monday, while providing an update on the program's progress. The Malawi government is targeting 1.1 million beneficiaries under this year's program. We have more details in this report found by Gift Kalunga.
Gangire said the program is progressing well, with 75% of targeted farmers having redeemed their inputs so far. She noted that this represents a significant improvement compared to last season, when redemption stood at 61%. Gangire added that a total of 81,143 metric tons of fertilizer, representing 1,636,680 bags, have been collected by beneficiaries across the country. She said the ministry continues to monitor the exercise to ensure all eligible farmers access their inputs.
On FISIP, we are at 75%. A total number of 1,636,680 bags of fertilizer have been redeemed by the farmers, which is representing 75%. This number is higher than the same time last season when it was at 61%.
In his remarks, agriculture expert Felix Jumbe commended the program's progress, but cautioned that uptake of fertilizer from depots to farmers remains a concern in some areas. He warned that the actual distribution on the ground may be lower than the reported 75%, urging authorities not to celebrate too early while some maize fields remain without fertilizer.
It's an improvement on what has happened as you compare with last year. I was also cautioning, however, that if we are comparing with last year and then we are comparing with the West people in implementation of FISP program, then we might be comparing with wrong things. And another thing that we should be cautious about is about the uptake of the seed, after delivery of fertilizer and seed, and the uptake from there to the farmer.
The Malawi government is targeting 1.1 million beneficiaries under the Farm Input Subsidy Program, FISIP. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Gift Kalonga.
Remember that you're watching news coming to you live from Bishop Navy Media Center. We'll be right back. Let's just take another look at the headlines. Pope Leo XIV prays for embattled people of Ukraine ahead of invasion anniversary. Government expert applauds Malawi's improved governance ranking while warning on corruption. Malawi government records 75% farm input subsidy program FISIP redemption rate, up from 61% last year. And in other news, Kenya signs historic cooperation deal to transform Nairobi's urban services. Proceeding with the news, the Directorate of Road Traffic and Safety Services, DRTSS, has issued a stern warning to motorists and transport operators to clear outstanding traffic fines by the 12th of March 2026 or face enforcement action. The warning follows revelations that motorists owe the department approximately 300 million Malawi kwacha in unpaid traffic fines. Director of Road Traffic and Safety Services Christopher Malalitsoguera told Luntha television on Monday that motorists continue to operate on public roads despite failing to settle outstanding penalties, some of which date back and as far as 3 years. Emmanuel Shiwocha has more details in this report.
Kuyera described the situation as alarming and unacceptable, saying motorists are required to settle their fine within 21 days from the date an offense ticket is issued, in line with the road traffic and safety regulation. He disclosed that 2,573 offense tickets remain unsettled, contributing to the growing backlog. Kuyela warned that the directorate will take decisive actions against motorists and transport operators who fail to clear their penalties by March 12, 2026. He said enforcement measures will include intensified compliance checks and other legal steps to recover outstanding penalties.
What I would like to let the public know is that according to the law, that Section 172 of the Road Traffic Act, any traffic offense must be settled, or either the person or the entity must seek redress through the courts within a period of 21 days from the date notification has been issued to either the operator, the driver, or any other person who is in charge of the vehicle at the time the offense was committed.
The directorate has urged all road users to comply with the road traffic rules and settle their outstanding fees promptly, stressing that strict enforcement measures will be implemented to enhance road safety and accountability on Malawi Road. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Emmanuel Chiwocha.
Balaka District Health Office has urged communities in the district to strictly observe hygiene practices to prevent a possible cholera outbreak. Speaking on Saturday during a cholera awareness campaign organized by the Balaka Debate Club, District Health Office spokesperson Mercy Nyirenda delivered the message to traditional leaders and community representatives, explaining that cholera is a waterborne disease transmitted through the consumption of contaminated food and water, and she emphasized the need for improved sanitation, safe water practices, and proper food handling to curb its spread. Andrew Nandolo filed this report.
Nyirenda said the most effective way to combat cholera is through strict adherence to hygiene practices and seeking immediate medical attention for anyone suspected of having the disease. She emphasized that early treatment is critical in preventing severe complication and death. She has since challenged the traditional leaders to take an active role in sensitizing the communities on preventive measures, including washing hands with a soap, eating proper cooked food while still hot, and drinking treated or safe water.
So we are very ready, and we are looking forward to a scenario where people will continue adhering to prevention, so that we have that case that we have up until December this year, so that we continue having the reduction of cases. And we also have some supplies, and we have equipment. We have a fully fledged ward where if we have a case right now, we'll be able to accommodate them and also to deliver the good care and the quality service to the patients or to the clients that would come to get assisted in terms of cholera as a disease.
Senior Group Village Head Mpulula expressed gratitude to Balaka District Health Office and the Balaka Debate Club for organizing the cholera awareness campaign. She said the initiative was timely and pledged to pass on the message to her subjects to ensure they adopt proper hygiene practices and help prevent the spread of cholera in their communities.
Tibanga misongano mmuzi mwathu kuti aliyesa kale ndi utenga ndithu ya kolera. Tuwa kolera ni matenda oyipa. Kolera alibe kuti kapena wadwala zulu kulere lomwe umamwalira. Ine utenga umene undawuvomera ndipo ndawunyadira. Kuti akhale akupanga pafupi kuti anthu ifeyo ambiri wafikire.
Meanwhile, the Balaka Debate Club has pledged to organize another debate focusing on water and sanitation in response to the continued dry taps in the district. Traditional leaders who attended the awareness campaign expressed concern over the persistent water shortages and called on the district's water authorities to clearly explain the cause of the problem. Balaka has been experiencing prolonged periods of little or no water supply, a situation community leaders say it worsening sanitation challenges. Reporting from Balaka, this is Andrew Nandolo.
The Copyright Society of Malawi, COSOMA, has assured its members that preparations for this year's royalty disbursement are progressing smoothly, with payments set to begin on March 17, 2026. Speaking to Luntha television, Kosoma spokesperson Catherine Mitungwi-Shumia said that the society is committed to ensuring that all eligible members benefit from the royalties collected. Alison Banda has filed this report.
Chiumia explained that disbursement will cover musicians, content creators, producers, and other rights holders whose work has been used across various platforms, including radio, television, public performances, and digital spaces. She said Kosoma continues to strengthen its system to improve revenue collection and distribution, ensuring that members fully benefit from use of their intellectual property. Chiumia emphasized that measures have been put in place to guarantee transparency, accountability, and efficiency throughout the payment process. She further noted that royalty payments play a crucial role in empowering artists and creators by providing financial recognition for their creativity and hard work. Kosoma has since encouraged members to verify and update their documentation and membership details in good time to avoid delays in receiving their earnings.
As you saw the notice that the society published on when the distribution of royalties will start, we did not indicate the number of beneficiaries, but the society is yet to publish another notice where the number of beneficiaries and the amounts will be indicated. That will be done shortly. Yes, and also the criteria that the society will use is the same old one, where it depends on the number of works. So if the society did not receive any proof that your works or the creator's works were used, it means that that particular person cannot be able to receive royalties, as it is works used is equal to royalties. So if your works were used, it means that you can receive the royalties. But if your works were not used, it's very difficult for us to tell or to give you royalties.
The annual royalty disbursement remains one of the key milestones for Malawi's creative industry, directly supporting livelihoods of the artists and contributing to the growth and sustainability of the sector.
Now, in other news, the Kenyan national government and the Nairobi City County government have signed a landmark cooperation agreement aimed at transforming service delivery and urban governance in the capital. The deal, signed at the State House in Nairobi, is projected to unlock billions of shillings for infrastructure, security, water, sanitation, and other key services. Clifford Mondi reports from Kenya.
At State House Nairobi, President William Ruto and Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja formalized a wide-ranging cooperation pact under which both levels of government will jointly tackle some of the capital's most pressing challenges. The deal, anchored on constitutional provisions for intergovernmental cooperations, outlines a structured framework for joint planning and implementation. President Ruto clarified that this agreement is aimed at supporting service delivery, not a takeover of devolved functions.
What we are augmenting today is not a transfer of functions. Let me repeat, there is no transfer of functions happening. For the avoidance of doubt, I have no interest in running the city of Nairobi. My hands are full. The governor and his team must run the city of Nairobi.
Under the pact, an estimated 8 billion Kenya shillings will be channeled into priority areas including infrastructure upgrades, water and sewer improvement, flood control, waste management and urban mobility, all in a bid to make Nairobi more functional as Kenya's capital.
This cooperation agreement focuses on 4 key work streams: water and sewerage, roads, bridges and drainage, housing and related infrastructure development including lighting, as well as solid waste management and Nairobi rivers regeneration.
Leaders have emphasized that the cooperation is designed to pool resources and expertise while respecting legal mandates. The governance structure includes oversight and implementation committees to ensure transparency and accountability.
We have to go beyond the comfort zones that have been there so that we do something extraordinary, but within the law is really a serious mark of.
The move has received support from some Nairobi lawmakers and members of the county assembly who endorsed the framework as an avenue to accelerate development in areas where Nairobi's limited budget has struggled.
However, critics in political circles have raised concerns about legal processes, with calls for adequate public participation and clarity on constitutional procedures before implementations.
And that report also brings us to the end of what we had for you in this edition of our news bulletin. But before you go, here's a reminder of the headlines. Pope Leo XIV prays for embattled people of Ukraine ahead of invasion anniversary. Government expert applauds Malawi's improved governance ranking while warning on corruption. Malawi government records 75% farm input subsidy program fiscal redemption rate, up from 61% last year. And in other news, Kenya signs historic cooperation deal to transform Nairobi's urban services. My name is Tandiwe Nzumara. Thank you for keeping me company, and do continue following the rest of our programs right here on Luntha TV. Goodbye for now, and do stay safe.